is Lindsay and welcome back to my channel. I've been seeing some other Authortubers doing this really fun video over the past year or so, and I've been wanting to try it, but I didn't have enough novels, I felt like, to actually do it in an interesting way. So today I'm going to be doing the tier ranking all of my first and last sentences of all my novels. There's some really great other Authortubers that have already done this. I will link their videos down below. I'm thinking like Shaylin writes, Rachel writes, and Katie Ann did one, but these are just a really fun way to kind of like laugh at yourself, see how far you come, prove to you guys that I am an imposter and I did con my way to the top and getting a publishing deal, and I don't know how I got here or why people continue to let me do this thing, but... So let me introduce to you guys the novels that I will be tier ranking in this video. I'll be ranking my shelved YA dark fantasy, When the Sea Came for Us, my 2 published novels, The Glass Witch and The Odd Book, my 2 current works in progress, Project Pyro and Bitter Bones. And then just because I needed more content, I decided to delve deep into the trunk novels and pull out Photos, which is a book that I talked about in my trunk novels video. I wrote her when I was 12. She's a wonderful YA thriller, very problematic. Fun time. And then a short story that I wrote in high school, The Ornery Adventures of Edith Gert. Also, I think just for like context sake, I'm not just going to be reading the first line and the last line. I'm gonna do like the full opening and closing of each book, so if it goes to like a paragraph or something, makes more sense, right? So buckle in, kids. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Okay, and I just realized as I'm getting ready to pull these books up that I deleted the log lines for all these books, so we're just gonna go out of the old noggin. But first of all, let's go ahead and go over the tier ranking levels. First, we have the top tier. We have Pulitzer Prize. This is the best we could do, the best we could ever hope for. The top tier, the chef's kiss, perfection. Next, we have Polite Snaps. This is where it's good. It's good enough, you know, respect. Middle tier, we have Beige. It's just there. It's okay. It's fine. Getting down into the negatives, we have This Let Out the Breath I Didn't Know I Was Holding. It's not good, but it's not the worst. And the worst is so bad it's actually Twitter drama. First, we're gonna start with Photos, which was the novel that I was mentioning that I wrote when I was 12. It is a YA thriller slasher that follows a teenage girl that's being hunted through her high school from an escaped psychiatric ward patient who's on a murdering spree. It is what it is. This book actually started with a news article. It says, "Dear daily readers, we have been asked by the American Safety Network, ASN, to take extreme precaution around your neighborhood. A lunatic killer has escaped the sponge room by chewing his way out with nothing but his mouth." I love this line because, like, what else is he gonna be chewing out with? His butt? Please don't worry too much about this man. Please are in your town at this very moment looking for him. Thank you. I would be worried. Please take extreme precaution, but then also don't be too worried. Yeah, we're putting that one, I mean, we're putting it in so bad as Twitter drama. There's nowhere else that baby could go. The last line of Photos is, "Isn't that sweet?" said a voice from behind them. Heavy breathing followed. They both turned around at the same time, and there, in all his evil glory, was the structure of Tom Loon. I mean, what else did you want me to do? Don't get me wrong, I'm really proud of myself for writing an entire novel when I was 12, but like, that doesn't mean it was gonna be good. Like, everyone needs to write their first crappy novel, right? Next, let's chat about the love of my life, The Ornery Adventures of Edith Gert. This was a story that I wrote when I was a junior in high school. It is about a very ornery elderly lady who causes chaos as she tries to escape from her retirement home. I think that you can really see the foreshadowings of my humor and my vibe and just like the old lady-ishness that I love to add into all of my books. All right, are we ready for this one, kids? In Sunny Acres retirement home, Edith Gert sat in her favorite rickety maroon armchair outside of her bedroom. The antique grandfather clock stationed behind her must have lulled her to sleep with its rhythmic ticking, as it had done every afternoon preceding her bingo match. Her half-moon glasses had slipped down her liver-spotted nose to rest on her chest, which deep, fitful breaths were being oxidized. She was adorned in her favorite outfit, which consisted of blue cotton sweatpants, a turtleneck, an Easter sweater from the 70s, and tennis shoes. Vogue. Clasped at her neck was a golden brooch, and many bangles covered her arthritic arms. As nursing aides walked past the slumbering senior, many smiled to themselves, thinking how much Mrs. Gert looked like their grandmothers or a kind elderly woman down the street. But Mrs. Gert was nothing like their grandmothers. So we're a bit heavy on the description right off the bat. I think we kind of like start to hit the humor just a little bit, but it's too much. It's too much, it's too wordy. Fitful breaths being oxidized. Well, what else happens in your lungs? It's not the worst. I wouldn't say it's like full on so bad it's Twitter drama, but I definitely let out the breath that I didn't know I was holding. It's kind of bad and it doesn't quite know it's bad. Then let's go to the last line. This one's a bit shorter. But Mrs. Gert was nothing like their grandmothers. As the last of the nurses passed to set up for dinner, Edith cracked open one of her eyes, glancing left then right with a wicked smile. So in the context of this, it's very cool because it kind of calls back to the original first line there with Edith Gert was nothing like their grandmothers. So that was pretty smart. I mean, like 16-year-old Lindsay, okay, snaps for that. It's still too wordy. I could look at that and line edit that down and take like 8 words out of that and it would still get across the same idea, I think. But I like that the story starts and ends the same way. I think that was very like next level for a junior in high school, right? So I think I'm gonna be nice to myself and I'm gonna put that one in beige. It's just there. It's not awful. I actually have an entire dramatic reading of The Honorary Adventures of Edith Gert if you so want to torture yourself to go watch that. Now let's talk about When the Sea Came for Us. This is my lovely little retired baby because she is what I started this AuthorTube channel with. I was trying to write her and query her and like my entire journey of this book has been here. And without her, I wouldn't have wrote The Glass Witch and I wouldn't be published. So she has a very soft place in my heart. But this book is about a disabled teenage girl who is abducted by Marrows, which are like land-dwelling Celtish mermaids, and forced to become a mercenary in their like ever-expanding war. I should have been alarmed by the star's ominous formation, the way the brightest 3 blazed in the middle, encircled by the smaller in a tight ring. The 3-pupiled eye gleamed above me, screaming a silent warning, a warning I dismissed as fable. I think it's not the worst. I'm gonna give it polite snaps. It kind of is ominous. I like that. I think it sets the tone very nicely. There's a bit of mystery there, like what's gonna happen? Why is there an omen in the sky? Why is she ignoring it? Like I think it's decent. It's decent. So we end on, I settled into the sand beside him, waiting for our strength to return. There would be a time for theories and mysteries, and most importantly, vengeance. But for now, we were home, and I let my unease drift away in a breeze that carried it out to sea. I'm gonna put this one in beige. I think it's fine. It's just there. You know what I mean? I mean, I like the idea of vengeance. That's always like something that really gets me. I'm like, ooh, what's gonna happen next? Like, who we taking out, girl? But I think it could have maybe been written a little bit more dramatically. It's just fine. It's beige. And next, we have The Glass Witch, my debut novel. This follows a little chubby, angry witch who has to join a Halloween-themed pageant in order to rid her town of a vicious witch hunter. It's like Hocus Pocus, but in reverse, where the witches are the good guys and the hunters are the bad guys. For the Glass Witch opening, we have: the problem with revenge is the good kind costs more than $3.67. Coins jingle in my hands as I peruse each greasy aisle of the gas station, hunting for the perfect poison. I pass a bit of bloated hot dogs marked $3.99 each, grimace at a browning fruit tray marked $7.50, and sidestep a mountain of $5 nachos with cheese so artificial it gives off a faint radioactive glow. And then I find it, nestled between a 6-pack of fizzy orange soda and a crumbling sausage and cheese biscuit. It lurks, waiting, the creme de la creme of comeuppance, the reigning rage of retribution, the baked Alaska of just desserts. My friends, and most importantly, enemies, I give you gas station sushi. I love that. Pulitzer Prize. That's just, I love it. Still proud of that opening to this day. It is one of the only openings I ever wrote immediately, like first draft, brainstorm, outline, like knew it was gonna be there, wrote it out, and it never changed. Never had that happen before. Probably will never have it happen again. The closing of this book is: the 4 of us wave as Mom pulls away. I hold my breath waiting for her line to go slack, for her to move far enough away that my magic can't follow. But it doesn't come. The connection stretches like taffy, long and flexible, spanning across miles and mountains and moments. A breeze whispers through my hair, carrying a snippet of the ancestors' song. I close my eyes and listen, letting the magic roost between my ribs, as if it's always belonged there. Yep, I love it. The Glass Witch was my perfect angel baby child of God who was so easy to write, and I have not had such an easy book since. I love and miss that experience. But she's perfect for spooky season, so like if you haven't already got her, you can go grab a copy. Links in the description below. Next, let's move on to The Odds. This is my baby that just came out a couple weeks ago. This is about a little disabled girl questing through the retirement home that she lives at, much like Edith Gert. And she's looking for an object that is going to save her 53 3 odd grandparents from the ghost that is sucking out their souls one by one. The first line of this reads, "If you are reading this, then you have braved the carnivorous garden, gained passage through the weeping tree by leaving an offering of toenails, and pried this book from the cold, dead hands of the ghost of Swamp Root Manor's long buried body. If you did not do these things, then you are probably an earthworm and can't read anyway." So this one I have conflicted feelings about because I think it perfectly sets the goofy, ridiculous, slightly macabre tone of the story, but it is a run-on sentence, and it was a purposeful run-on sentence, but a run-on sentence nonetheless. So can I really give that a Pulitzer? I don't think so. I don't think I can. I'm gonna give it polite snaps. I don't know, but I love it. No, I love it. The book ends with, "So I leave you with one parting piece of trivia in the hopes that you will go forth and live your wild or not so wild adventure. You are odd enough. And never, never forget, dear reader, that is a fact." It's so difficult with this too, I'm finding, because I feel like all of my openers are more strong than my endings just based on the sentences themselves, right? Like, you don't need context for a book opening because there is no context. You're just getting into it. But towards the ending, I'm not just relying on the words, the prose themselves to evoke something. I'm relying on the entire story leading up to this moment to really take those lines and turn them into something very powerful. So like reading that, yeah, it's fine, but given the context, it becomes much stronger. But I'm gonna try to rate these just based on the words themselves, not the context of the whole story, because that would not be as fun. So I'm gonna put it in beige. All right, and then moving on to the last 2 novels. These are my current work in progresses. Let's start with Project Pyro first. And this is the one that I'm very sad that I accidentally deleted my pitch because I can't remember what I said. I think it was something like, a juvenile delinquent is thrust into the investigation. That sounds like a buzzword. The investigation of a bunch of missing disabled girls in her boarding school, discovers the school's grisly pasts and wonders if she's gonna be the next to disappear. Boom. Basically, this one is my gritty Appalachian thriller social horror for YA audiences that I am literally like quivering to get back to. I miss writing it so much. The voice just pops for me. It's such a nasty book, like just a nasty main character in a nasty situation, and I just, ooh, I can't wait to like go back to it this November. I'm gonna have some time set aside to work on my second draft. Woo! So for the opening, let me get a sip of coffee here. I'm gonna have to pull my southern accent out to get this going really well. Let's pretend I'm an audiobook narrator here. There is a venom inside of me, a sludge, a fester. Something swollen and gray that grows under a rock, only good for being stomped under a boot. It's in all of us McCollums. We might molt like different snakes, but it's under our scales all the same. And it's only gotten worse since the murder. Yeah, I'm not even gonna be humble about this. That might be one of the best things I've ever written. This was honestly such a good exercise to be doing for myself right now because I'm first drafting. I'm first drafting Bitter Bones, which we'll talk about next. My first drafts are so bad. Like, they literally read like kindergarten sentences. It's essentially a glorified outline. So I'm sitting over here for the past like couple months thinking like, oh my God, I'm a terrible writer. Like, how did they let me publish? Like, but then I look at that. I look at that line and I'm like, okay, there's something there. There's something there. And then we end on, oh, should I get the Appalachian accent back out? My matchbox is a cold weight in my hand. I slide a stick free and drag it along its side. There's a scratch, a spark, and then a flame. This is another one that I feel like you need context for. For example, my main character is a pyromaniac, but you wouldn't know that. And we can't let the context decide. So given that, it's going in beige. It's fine. The words itself are just fine. And then last but not least, we have Bitter Bones. This is my current work in progress. It is a middle grade horror that is an analyzation of disability through the lens of body horror. I think in the coming months, I'll have like an actual pitch with some real details. But right now, just know it's about like creepy dolls and a boy with too many bones, a cult, and a kid trying to find his mother. I also start this book with like, I don't even know what this is called. It's not a prologue, at least I don't think it is. It's just like a little paragraph before the first chapter. Is it a prologue? Is it a prologue if it's just a paragraph? I don't know. You guys tell me. Bones. They're all around us, in every one of us. They are our foundation, giving us shape and protecting our more gooey bits from oozing flat like wet balloons. They're in our language. Bare bones, bone to pick, work to the bone. They're in our Halloween decorations, our science classrooms, and even flavor our soup broths. The non-human kind, hopefully. So we know bones. At least, we think we do. But what happens when they crack, split, bleed, when they twist? When something so close to you, meant to cradle and shield, becomes the knife I think I'm gonna put this one in polite snaps. I don't know. See, this is the thing, guys. It's still in first draft form, so I don't know. I really like it. I think it sets the mood. It's kind of creepy. It talks about bones right off the bat. But again, it's like, this is one of those context things that I think the way I have it set up is that this doesn't serve too much of a purpose other than setting atmosphere until you've read the book. And then if you were to go back and reread it, then you'd be like, oh, this means something. But like, it doesn't right now. So it just feels a bit, I don't know. See, I'm in first draft mode. I'm being very self-conscious. It's good. It's good. You know what? They're just putting it there because I need a confidence boost right now. I hope you enjoyed getting a sneak peek into my writing and how truly terrible some of it really is. Make sure to check out Rachel and Shaylin and Katie's videos down below. If you've ever done this before, make sure you let me know in the comments because I would love to watch. I'm always really nosy. I like want to see other people's writing. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.